So the other day I bought a couple of decks, and this was one of them. I bought it from I can't remember where, but I do have an Amazon affiliate link. I think I got it from Hay House. I think it's a Hay House deck, but I also have an Amazon affiliate link if anybody wants to get this from Amazon. So I will put it underneath this video. Let's take a quick look at it. Okay, it's by Denise Lynn. It's called Native Spirits Oracle Cards. Let's lay it down on this back and give it a little spin. Alright, so this is our packaging. It is definitely from Hay House. So that's a good thing because Hay House usually has good boxes and it usually has good guidebooks too. If you want to take a second and pause that, you can read that. It has the price on it and a little bit of information about the cards. Alright, so my name is QueenAusetHeru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to somebody else who might like it too. Please drop us a positive comment in the comment section. Let me know if you have this deck or if you like this deck. And if you want a reading done, please hit me up. All my information will be underneath the link to this beautiful deck. Let's go. Alright, so as always, I first look for the quality of the box. And the box is cool. It has finger holes. There's nothing inside, but it's a very sturdy, hard box, which is exactly my favorite. Those are my absolute favorite. I really do not like tuck boxes. They are the industry standard though, so you will see a lot of decks in a tuck box. This one has a pretty cool guidebook. There's a picture of every card, but they are not illustrated. And they give you quite a bit of information. So it's not a flimsy guidebook. It gives you a lot. Tells you how to use the cards. And I was trying to see if they had spreads in the beginning, because a lot of these do. Let me see. Yeah, they have spreads in here too. So it's awesome. So this is very useful. Let's put the guidebook to the side for a second and check out the cards. They are in paper. Held in paper. Let's take the paper off. There we go. Now I'm going to show you the first card. They seem to be in alphabetical order, which is always good. This is our first card. Now this is the back of every card. I don't think they really needed the word native spirit there. But it's pretty. I like the back of the card. There's nothing wrong with it. Turn it over on the other side. Not too thick, not too thin. Very glossy. Gloss master. Very glossy. I love that. But they're not always easy to use when you're trying to photograph them. This is a standard size oracle card. So if you have small hands, they're not always the easiest to shuffle. You will need to adjust for that. Okay. Pretty artwork. Let's get into it. So the artwork is very attractive. I like that. And they seem to be photographs. I don't know if these are photographs or they look like photographs that somebody doctored up. That's what I would think if I saw these. Ancient forest. Yeah, like they doctored them up a bit. You know, cleaned up the shot some. Maybe made the sky a little bluer. Okay. Native spirit. I got another deck earlier that was called the Sacred Medicine Oracle. And the artwork is nothing like this, but I think they would pair nicely together. Let me get this out here. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I think they would pair nicely together because even though the artwork is different, that one is about indigenous cultures. And these are giving me indigenous culture. Like, look how beautiful this water is. This is back before humans started polluting, you know, the rivers. That's what that reminds me of. This reminds me of when the animals pretty much had control of the land and human beings had a balance with them, a respect with them and the nature and the earth that we don't have now. And the last groups that I know had a great deal of that were the indigenous groups. So that's why I said it reminds me of that other deck. The Elder. And as you can see, you're not seeing any people here, and there are no numbers on the cards. So I'm estimating if I'm lucky, they'll be in alphabetical order because the cards are in alphabetical order. So even though there's no number, and like this says flowing river, I have no idea what these cards mean. You can use these intuitively, but you're gonna have to use your own third eye to be able to, to know what the meanings are. Because I can't look at these and say, oh, it means this or it means that. I have no clue what it means. Freedom horse. Could that mean you need to be free? You desire to be free? It's time to be free? That's what I would come up with something like that. Now, later we're going to look at one of them with the guidebook and see how the guidebook performs. Gathering your tribe. I often wonder what life was like before. Before cities. Before greed, before all that, back in the old days when you would hunt and gather and lay on your back and look at the stars at night and you could really see them. Our ancient ancestors could stare at the sky and see constellations. We can't see nothing now. We got so much artificial light. You have to get away from the city. I used to stay in the mountains for a couple of months, like 7 months. And the sky was breathtaking. It was no artificial light up there, or very little artificial light. And it was just breathtaking. This is beautiful. Look at that. That's the first thing I'm noticing about this deck is how beautiful it is. I love looking at these scenes. I feel like these would be awesome for daily pulls as well. I mean, you can of course use them in conjunction with other readings, but I think these would be fabulous for a daily pull just to get some spiritual guidance for the day. Look at that medicine bag. Cool. And you see silhouettes of people, but you don't really see people, which is good. That's fine too. I'm really feeling looking at the earth, the way that they have these cards. The beauty of nature. Look at that. Ooh. I walked through a path in Costa Rica that looked just like that. It looked just like that. Beautiful. I think I have a picture somewhere. Because I was so surprised at its beauty when I walked up on it. I was just like, wow. I'm not from Costa Rica. I'm from Philadelphia. So when I got here, everything was new to me. And that was just so beautiful. Stonehenge, beautiful. Whoever did these pictures did an awesome job. They are awesome. I like this deck a lot. This definitely has me. Now, what did they tell us about numbers? 44 cards. Perfect. Okay. The peace pipe. Yes. I don't know what they put in the peace pipe, but I know what I would put in it. And we'd have a lot of peace and giggling. Definitely. The Sacred Mountain. That's beautiful. Reminds me of Mount Shasta. I don't know if that's it or not, but it reminds me the word Sacred Mountain. Shapeshifter. These are really cool. These are really cool. I like the scenery they put them in. I like the like, look at this, how they have the smudging ceremony going on. So they have the shell and everything that you would need. I think that's probably white sage, if I'm not mistaken. That's really cool. And I like how the smoke is coming out. Beautiful. Yeah, it's funny. I have looked at several decks today, and I'm a pretty hard deck reviewer. I've seen a lot of decks. I own like 500 decks, and I've seen a whole lot more than that. And today I have looked at like 3 decks, so this is the 4th one, that I've given a 10 out of 10. I'm very surprised. Either I'm getting soft or deck creators are getting better. And I think it's the latter. Because I'm still me. I'm still me, right? But I really do feel like deck creators are getting better. I feel like they're taking more of the community's thoughts into consideration when they're creating decks. I'm seeing changes in the size of the cards. More people are offering smaller and larger versions. I'm seeing a lot more diversity that is really making me happy. And I just feel like the creators are really listening to the people. The ones who really want to sell decks are really listening to the people. The West. And now we have some elements. This is my element for Aquarius, the air element. Now we have the earth element. Beautiful. We have the fire element. We have the beautiful, look at that water, isn't that beautiful? Let me get it in there so you can take a look. Yeah, look at that, that's gorge. That's gorge. Spirit of water, that's gorge. These are really nice. And you know, I like how the border is there. It's at the bottom. You see it right there and at the top, the border, but it's not in my way. I like that. That's a smart choice. Let me see the art. And if you want to add a border to make it, you know, a little fancier, get it out of my way so it doesn't bother me. I didn't even notice the border the first 3 cards. Love the skyline back here, you know. Get the borders out of my way. I also like that they're not borders on the side. It's just at the top, at the bottom. So it doesn't make the artwork smooshed, you know, smooshed into the middle. So I like that. I mean, there are people, I have a couple decks that have borders on them that I deal with or don't mind in some cases. But most of the time for me, if I can get a borderless deck, if they give me the option of border versus borderless, I generally am going to take borderless. And I do know some people that like the borders. You know, we've had this conversation in some of our tarot groups. But for the most part with me, almost every deck to me looks better without borders. I've seen people do some deck modifications where they've taken some decks and taken the borders off. And I swear, the deck looks completely different. It looks like a totally different deck. It's just like the artwork just pops out of it. I like the Trickster. The Trickster reminds me of Loki. My dear sweet Loki. I loved Loki even before he went to the MCU. I've always had a relationship with Loki. Known Loki since I was a child. When I first read about Norse mythology, I was like, he's cool. And he's been with me ever since. Love that. Oh, look at this. I love a polar bear. Oh, that is so cute. White buffalo. From what I understand, there used to be a lot of buffalo in the United States. And I have never seen one. I've never seen a buffalo. I don't know if they still raise them or I don't know. The Wounded Healer. That is awesome. Alright, so what we're going to do is, because this was my favorite, I had like 4 favorites. So let's take one of my favorites. And this will let us see how does the guidebook perform. Alright, so remember I said I think they're in alphabetical order. And I am right, they are. This is our warrior heart, warrior of the heart. And we're going to see what it means. You have the radiant spirit of a warrior of the light. Be impeccable in all of your actions. No matter what others believe, the Creator always knows the truth. This isn't the time to be timid and pull back. Immense courage is filling you. Throw your shoulders back, step forward and take a risk. Be willing to live life from your heart rather than your mind. Honor your truth. Speak up for yourself. Your native spirit wants you to know the greatest native warriors weren't the ones who wounded the most people. They were those remarkable beings who had such personal power that enemies lay down their weapons rather than fight. There are times in life to step back and even times to walk away, but there are also times to stand up for yourself and those less advantaged. Don't allow yourself to be limited by your belief system. Courage doesn't mean that you aren't afraid. Fearless means just that. fear less, acknowledging that you're frightened and take action anyway. Face your anxiety and go beyond the boundaries of limited perceptions of yourself. Through your example, people find and act on their truth. You're a light bearer for others. This is really beautiful. The journey. List everything that you are afraid of. Then next to that list, write every reason why it's important to overcome that fear. In other words, what does that fear cost you? Then make a list of the various ways you can overcome that fear. So this is beautiful. It has an awesome guidebook. It gives you a meaning. It also talks to you more in depth. And it gives you some action steps. I love decks that give you action steps. A lot of decks will say something like, be more grateful, but not tell you how. So this deck does not do that. It tells you exactly how to do what they're recommending. Love that. I love that. This deck, again, like I said, 10 out of 10. I highly recommend this one for daily pulls. I highly recommend it for using inside of a spread too. Now, if you're going to use it in a spread, I probably would just look it up and get the basic gist of the card. So if I was using this in like maybe if I had like 3 tarot cards down and I threw this down, and I'd be like, okay, well, this is talking about tapping into your courage, you know, overcoming your fears. So like you would use the same information. It's just the fact that you would kind of use a summary versus reading the whole thing like I did. So this is good. This is awesome. I'm not even gonna call it good. I'm gonna call it awesome, because it's great for your daily pulls. It's great for putting into in conjunction with other card readings, and you can use it with any type of reading. General readings would go great with this one. Any kind of spiritual reading would go great with this one. You could even use it with a love reading. So it's very versatile as well. All right, guys, I'm gonna put this one back. It is definitely worth it. Please look underneath for the link so you can get one for yourself, and you come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you later.